Our next question.
26 days.
26 days.
That's right.
26 days. The countdown is on.
It's going to happen.
Get voting. Vote early.
That's right.
Our next question comes from Kaylee.
Hello. Thank you, Senator Vance, for being here.
Of course.
And thank you for taking questions because you're doing a great job.
I've taken more questions in the past 15 minutes than Kamala Harris has the whole campaign. But you guys,
I'm a small business owner and a first-time voter, and I'm a hairdresser.
God bless you.
I was wondering how you were going to help. Oh, I lost my place. Oh, one day I want to start a family and own my own home, but with raising costs, I do not know if that will be able to happen. You have come from humble beginnings, so what is your plan for creating more opportunities for people like me?
Yes, ma'am. Of course. Well, thank you for your question, and it's an important one. And I will say, I think we've got a question here, a question over here, and a question over here. I think I need a swivel chair the next time that we do an event like this.
They need to make us a lazy Susan.
That's right. That's
been around.
Right. Well, I think to answer your question, let's start by understanding because it's really important to understand the root causes of some of these problems. Why are things so expensive under Kamala Harris's leadership? And there are a whole host of things I could point to, but actually the most important is energy. Okay? So think about it like this. Groceries are 25% higher than they were 3.5 years ago. That's because the truck drivers are paying way more for diesel fuel, and it's the truck drivers who are getting the groceries to the grocery store. Our farmers are paying more for diesel, and of course they're the ones growing the food. And then finally, you think about building a house. Well, if all the people who are doing the building and delivering the materials are paying more for gas and more for energy, then that's going to raise the price of everything. So President Trump has this phrase, which I think is very simple, but it's also a genuinely specific policy. The most important thing we got to do to lower prices and make life more affordable is drill, baby, drill. We've got to unleash American energy. It really is so important. And it also, by the way, I admire you so much for doing what you do and having the courage to go out and do it on your own. It's not easy, but you ought to have a government that makes your life a little bit easier and makes it a little bit easier for you to get ahead instead of harder and harder to get ahead. I mean, think about this. You're a small businesswoman. You're building something that is creating prosperity, not just for you, but for your community. Of course, you provide a good service. I need a haircut right now, by the way, so I'll call you. But think about this. We have got two really different economic proposals from Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You know, Kamala Harris's entire economic plan boils down to we're going to raise taxes on American workers and we're going to reward companies that ship jobs overseas. Donald Trump's vision is like the exact opposite. We're going to cut taxes for American workers. We're going to penalize folks who are shipping American jobs overseas. We want to reward people like you who are creating prosperity right here in the United States of America. But the one last thing I'd say, and I'd ask you to, I'm sure you've got, a lot of friends. You're clearly, like you said, you're a first-time voter, and I know that there are a lot of first-time voters who are still figuring this stuff out. What I really worry about, and I'm older than you, but I'm pretty young by the standards of national politics. I'm only 40. And one of the things I really worry about is the young generation in this country. They're growing up in a nation where they're going to become paupers in the country that their parents and their grandparents built. The American dream of homeownership, not being deep in credit card debt. I want you to own a piece of the future and not just be a permanent debtor to people and institutions that don't care about you and don't like you. I want you to own a slice of this country, and that's how we're going to create prosperity. Thank you.
The globalist view of own nothing and be happy is not what the American people want.
They want you to live in a pod, eat bugs, and own nothing, right? That is like fundamentally, that's where their vision ultimately lands. I want you to own a nice house, be able to start a family, and build a great business in the United States of America. And that's what Donald Trump is fighting for every single day.
I tried cricket one time. I just couldn't wrap my head around eating crickets. I know they're high in protein, but
I'm ashamed to admit it. I've also tried cricket. It is honestly more disgusting than you can possibly imagine. So don't eat the bugs. We want to eat red meat. We want to eat whatever we want to eat.
Yes.
But no cricket.
I've somehow become a steak and potatoes girl, just like my dad always was. And I was like, Dad, where's the veggies? I'm like, where's the steak and potatoes?
That's right.
Kaylee, I'm also a first-time voter, I just want to say. I've never voted before,
that's
but
awesome.
this time around,
Good for you.
I have to vote. Yeah. It's that important.
I just want to be clear. I want to get on record. You're voting for us, right? You're voting for the good guys?
1,000%.
There we go.
If I could vote twice, I would.
We don't do that. We're Republicans. We vote legally. Only one time.
The way you vote twice is to bring a friend.
That's right.
Bring a friend.
That's a good point. Vote twice the legal way. Bring yourself and a friend to the polls. That's very good.